it was a big deal. They're trying to get me suspended, but I never regret it. And literally, when it comes on TV on top 10 meltdowns all the time, on Toronto TV, if I'm with my sons who are in their 20s and they're very funny guys and they're hockey guys, they always go, "Hey, Dad, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing to our family."
This is my favorite because I was actually in the building. I was really good friends with Mike Fisher, and in Ottawa, and you going after Mick McGeough.
Senator shoots. Joseph is furious, and he ran into the referee by accident, I'm sure, and Joseph is furious.
I guess the judgment, and it's probably true, is Cross put Alfredson into the goalpost. But look at this. I hope he's going to get a 10-minute misconduct there, and I hope that's all because he did trip and slide in by accident.
I was literally 7 rows up. So it was like the most incredible series. I was able to be around Tom Barrasso at the other end. I was there for those 2 games in Ottawa, and of course the Battle of Ontario is so intense. But that one, I don't know if that's embarrassing for you, but I needed to know and talk about that because that one is all over the place too. That's something just burned in my memory.
Yeah, well, let's start with that one.
Okay.
And with Mick McGeough, God rest his soul, we didn't see eye to eye ever. And
he was to your point, like, and I'll back that up. Like he was the older guys, right? Like you had McCreary and those guys all talk to you. But Mick was he liked to give it back way more than those other guys. He didn't take anything.
Yeah, exactly, Razor. I had a great rapport with all the refs, and I was always chirping them, trying to get a power play in our favor. Did you see that? Did you see that? I'm always like, hey, this guy's trying to show you up, and it was joking around, but I felt like I could get a few power plays a game, and especially in important times. So, but anytime I talked to Mick, anytime in my career, he always put his hand up in my face, and I was like, oh. I'm like, okay, all right, buddy, and then, of course, I wasn't playing well that game, and I felt like I was interfered with. Didn't matter. Game was over. It was like a 5-2 win for them, and it was the end of the game. So I got up, and I wanted to catch him before he got there. He's not going to talk to me anyway, and I didn't have a great relationship with him. But I went into the corner, and Razor, you'll know this by being a goalie. When you hit the post, you have an outside missing edge, right? But you don't know it till the next day till you skate around the rink and you're doing crossovers and you're like, oh. So I think I got on that outside edge, and I probably had lost it by hitting the post, and I slipped and I fell, and it wasn't on purpose. But Colin Campbell called me, and I had a call with him to be suspended. So the mayor of Ottawa was trying to get me suspended. He was very vocal, and it was a big deal. It was. And a lot of pressure, but Colin Campbell called me, and so I'm in the visitors' room the morning before the game, and he's like, hey, I should suspend you. And as soon as he said that, I was like, ooh, not getting suspended. Nice. Yep. And so it was a big deal. They're trying to get me suspended, but I never regret it. And literally, when it comes on TV on top 10 meltdowns all the time, on Toronto TV, if I'm with my sons who are in their 20s and they're very funny guys and they're hockey guys, they always go, hey, Dad, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing to our family. And so we're always like, hey, we won the series.
Yeah, exactly.
So I always feel like, and Razor, I don't know what you were like, but I wasn't a guy that was overly critical of individuals. I saw who played bad or who didn't, but as long as you're making an effort, like, what are you going to say? We can play bad too. So I would always go in and break a stick or take the Gatorade jug and fire it against the wall or do something so out of character for me, because I was a very calm guy. And so I did something out of character, and we had played bad. I had played poorly, and we ended up winning the series, and we all played great. So I always say, you know what? It's an emotional game, and sometimes everybody's not there all the time, and I always felt like it added to our win. No question. And I love beating Ottawa. I love beating Ottawa because they were always better than us in the regular season, and we always took them down in the playoffs. So, yes,
So
thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, I loved it.
So, somebody who grew up in Ottawa, thanks, Cujo.
Well, I hated that horn. It was the worst.
Yeah, it was the worst.
I hear that in my sleep. Who wants to hear that? Ottawa fan.
Like memories from Edmonton and the Dallas Edmonton series. I mean, those things were awesome. I remember watching those as a kid.
Yeah. You know what? Coming from St. Louis, and I went to Edmonton. To play in Canada, in Edmonton, I didn't know what to expect, but everybody is a fan. Everybody's all in all the time. And it's crazy. And it was such a great atmosphere. And we were underdogs, clearly. We had the lowest payroll in the league. But we had a couple of great players. Dougie Wade and Billy Guerin were stars. And it was so much fun to play there. And we did give up a lot of shots. It was we played, so that's why we were exciting too. It was end-to-end action. So Dallas was a little bit of the same way. And I talk to people still today that they're not, of course, Edmonton fans love it, but they say that was one of the best series, probably because the trading of blows. It was like a punch in the face contest.
Yeah.
Back and forth. And who doesn't like that? So it was so great. And actually we won that series. It was my birthday. I always remember because it was such an emotional, such an emotional series back and forth. Game 7, winning, and Joey Nieuwendyk had that chance to end it. And I didn't even know if I had it. You can see me looking under my gloves. It was like a shell game. But I have another story about that too, about Joey Nieuwendyk and his wife. Afterwards, but it was such a great series, and to see Todd Marchand go down and score that winner was incredible.
Unbelievable series. And it's funny because like the Oilers 5 years prior have kind of broken up the band, right? You have a city that just gets spoiled by winning all these cups in the 80s.
Yes.
And then you go through this lean year, it's a recession, the dollar's kicking Canadian teams' asses.
Yes.
And then, that was also kind of a, bringing that old franchise kind of back to life. Don't you think that some of those big wins, like it kind of put the Oilers back on the map again to bring that sort of pride within the city again? Didn't you find that?
Oh, definitely. They had been starving for playoff hockey, and then a playoff win when you knock off the, one of the Stanley Cup favorites in Dallas, and a big rivalry to knock them off. And I think they owned us during the year, but to knock them off, I mean, the city was alive. It was alive, and because they were starving for some playoff hockey and some playoff wins. So it was an incredible time to be an Oiler, and it was great. It was a lot of fun, and we touched on the next year also playing Colorado with Forsberg, Sakic, Kamensky, Foote, Patrick Waugh. I mean, they had a stacked lineup. Literally every time you went into that building, the ice, they Zamboni'd only our end most of the time. It was tilted. And you hope that they weren't on a losing streak when you went in there, because Forsberg and Sakic would be fired up to get some points. So to beat them, actually, funny story about that series, we were down 3-1, and we went to the Chop House in Colorado. And Glenn Sather, who's notoriously cheap, as we all know, he at dinner he goes, "Hey guys, if you come back and win this series, I'm going to buy you all Ping golf clubs. Everyone, gets a new set of Ping clubs." And I remember leaning over to whoever, Dougie Wade or whoever was next to me. I go, "Hey, way to go out on a limb, Glenn. We're getting throttled here." Anyway, he waited till we're down 3-1, but we anyway
probably had to deal with Ping.
Of course he did. No bags either. No head covers, no bags.
No.
So we come back and we beat them. We win 3 straight, 2 in their building, and we win game 6, 7 in shutouts. And that does my heart good. Patrick Waugh's in the other end, who's a very confident goalie and a superstar. Love Patrick. He's one of the greatest. A very competitive human being. So, those handshakes are always good at the end of the series. But for us to beat them, that juggernaut. So again, Edmonton fans were very, very, very happy, and I loved my time in Edmonton. It was nothing but good stuff.
So you got the golf clubs.
We got the golf clubs, and I wish, as you're older, I wish I saved things. I wish I saved those clubs. I don't know where they are now, but just as a memento of that series and that time where Glenn went out on a limb and said, I'll buy you guys clubs.